And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Chaos 120 live stream. I'm your host, Veteran Mountain Man. That was Tara there.
Trying out her new animal sound.
Yeah, her new intro. And of course, we got Irate Prostate.
Hey, y'all. What's happening?
And of course, the next 6 minutes.
I am the next 6 minutes.
And we're going to have some fun tonight because we got some interesting topics to discuss.
We're going to have some fun tonight.
All right, I'm echoing here.
There's a good chance that's me, and I apologize.
Not a problem, Tara. So, for everybody who's looked at the title already, you might be wondering, what do climate change models, governors signing tax increases, and censorship bills all have in common?
It's bullshit?
Exactly. Thank you, Tara. You win the
Astutely
prize.
put. Yes.
But before we get into anything too heavy, hey, Six, do you have that hockey break for us?
I do. Let me find my tab where it's open. It's not in that one. It's on this one here. Conspicuously labeled NHL. Let's see. As far as tilts tonight, there are no tilts tonight because the playoffs are starting, I believe it's tomorrow. And here are the matchups for the respective conferences. In the Western Conference, you have your Nashville Predators are going to be playing against the Avalanche, which should be the Stars, but you know how
Cool.
Stars just they did not they didn't get enough points, unfortunately, and injuries played a part in that, and that sucks.
It does.
People need to stop telling them to break a leg.
They take it literally. It's a very literal interpretation of said suggestion. Let's see. On the second bracket, we have the Winnipeg Jets are going to be versus the Minnesota Wild. So I guess I'm going to be pulling for Irving's Jets to win that one. On the third bracket, we have the Vegas Golden Knights. Yes, the expansion team. Their very first trip and their very first playoffs in their very first season.
Well, congratulations for them.
Yeah,
a lot of cherries getting busted there.
Certainly, yes. It's a.
We'll see how long they last.
Onion.
I was going to say it sounds like an assault on a fuck, I can't remember the name, where the nuns are.
Assault
Convent?
A convent. Goddamn.
Assault on a convent. Either that or somebody's playing skeet with a cherry pie. Anyhow, let's see. So they're playing the LA Kings in the third bracket there, and on the final bracket of the Western Conference, we have the Ducks versus the Sharks. So it's kind of a SoCal, well, not a SoCal, but a California matchup there against two California rivals in that Pacific Division. All right, we move on over to the East, and Florida Man is taking on the New Jersey Devils. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going up against the Devils from New Jersey. On the second bracket, we have the Boston Bruins versus Irving Twins' not favorite team. I repeat, his not favorite team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll see how that works out. Let's see. Third bracket, we have the Washington Capitals versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. And in all Pennsylvania matchup, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Philadelphia Flyers. The Pittsburgh Penguins, of course, are going for their third in a row. We'll see if that actually happens. I hope it doesn't, because I don't really care much for Sidney Crosby. It's kind of an
Oh,
annoying.
Irate, I bet you're rooting for that team since you're the Penguin and our DC villains.
I'm not a hockey person.
Well, you have to root for them. They're the Penguins. You're the Penguin.
Yeah, I'll debate. I have a debate with that, but hey, you know, I flip coins.
So those are the matchups for the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs. They'll get underway tomorrow, and we'll hear about some more matchups. Of course, this was the NHL playoff update brought to you by the Next 6 Minutes.
Thanks,
Six. You have my cherry pie stuck in my fucking head now.
Haha.
She's my cherry pie.
My cherry pie. Make a grown man cry. Sweet cherry pie.
Hair metal has a particular stickiness. It sticks inside the brain.
Yes. I call it moose
Especially
metal.
when you don't want it to.
MOUSSE. Moose metal.
So guys, I just got a notice from the channel that only I am presenting in the stream.
Oh.
So I'm gonna it was F5 would bounce me out and allow me to bounce back in without shutting everything down, right? 6?
From what I understand, yes, that's how it works.
I'm gonna bounce in and out real quick, see if we can get this presenting thing fixed. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't bother me.
All right, there we go.
All right, now it's presenting me.
Yes, so it looks like we're moving.
Well, Ryder, it's not that our voices are all coming from his icon. It's just his split personality has revealed itself and showing itself in full display. Because he's not actually just veteran mountain man. He's also terrorist and irate prostate in the Next 6 Minutes.
And if his name was Steven, would be the three faces of Steve. That's bad, isn't it?
Oh boy.
Oh, that's shitty. Shite humor.
But yeah, so let's get to these climate change models. We were just talking about that before we went live.
Yeah.
According to Investors Business Daily, all of the climate change models that we have been using for the past, decade and some change are wrong.
Move.
According to some new research, there is so much nitrogen in the Earth's surface that all of the previously done calculations are completely inaccurate. And these are all studies that have been being used since 2003. So pretty much anything from the past 15 years.
Kind of snaps their hockey stick model over the knee, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, when you've got the wrong data to start with, you can't get good results.
Right.
Well, you know, they were modifying the data. Remember from South America a couple years back, and they got busted doing that. You know, the
climate gate.
Yeah, exactly. NOAA and stuff. They had that little tribunal
where they were wrapping stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, and they never really released the true, what happened. It was hush hush.
Oh yeah, it got all hushed up.
Yeah.
So the reason why I as far as climate change and global warming go, that I say, hey, you know what? I don't know. And the so-called experts on the subject, they haven't demonstrated to me that they do know, apart from their authority.
Respect my authority.
Largely because I grew up around universities. I grew up around academics. I grew up around scientists, and the common thread amongst most of them, anyway, is that grant money it pretty much rules the roost. It is the #1 priority.
Yep.
These guys will jump through any fiery hoop they are required to in order to obtain,
in order to get the pay.
In order to get the pay. And it's knowing that and understanding that I always have to temper everything that I hear from these scientists and the people that are really big fans of what they say. It's like, okay, but I've heard that, but I need more. I need to know more about the background of these scientists, what the chain of custody of the funding that they are using, where does it come from, how do they generate it, what are their interests, a lot of questions, most of which don't get answered, and I am labeled a climate change skeptic or some other shitlordy term.
Well, the problem I've always had with all of it is that every single one of these models we see is a computer-based model from one of 4 supercomputers in the academic fields, all programmed by the same programmer.
Interesting.
Well, and you know what I hate the most is the term climate change denier. Because basically what they're doing is they're trying to equate you with a Holocaust denier, right? They're trying to put it, and that's the most deplorable horse shit that I can't stand hearing that term, because it belittles the Holocaust and the victims of the Holocaust, and B, it's not even anywhere close, in the same vicinity, when it comes to like injustices and horrors.
Right. It's not even on the same. It's not even in the same solar system.
Yeah, it's not the same galaxy.
Exactly. It just pisses me off, man, to hear that. Climate change denier. It's like, no, I'm a climate change questioner.
I've never said that the climate straight out doesn't change, because that's foolish. I mean, for crying out loud, we've got receding glaciers. We're still at the tail end of an ice age.
We're more concerned about what is regarded as man-made.
What the fuck is wrong with you, dog?
Climate change.
That's right. I was going to say the climate changes 4 times a year. It's called summer, spring,
winter and fall.
Winter. Exactly. Hello.
I'm here.
Yep.
Problem solved. Move on. That just pisses me off, that whole deal. And it's made up shit. Everybody knows it is. It's just, there to generate funds for fucking research.
Well, man, there's $100 billion in grant money and research money for the climate change stuff in the U.S. alone.
And where does most of that money come from?
From the federal coffers.
Jorge Soros.
Here's I don't know if you wouldn't mind, veteran, if I happen to pop my.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I made a fairly relevant to this conversation video today, and it regards rather interesting ownership of the Weather Channel now, and I have a few questions. And they're in the video, so at your leisure, go ahead and have a look at it. Anyhow,
and I would recommend to everybody to go see Six's new video. It is definitely going to be something worth watching. He was kind of giving me a bit of a teaser about it earlier before we went live.
It is the first part of 2.
And not even a tease now. My balls are swelling just thinking about it.
You've got the blue balls.
Got the intellectual blue balls, man.
They are flashing like emergency lights. They're so blue for this new video.
Exactly. Exactly.
Uzi Q has to put on sunglasses.
Excuse me if I come off a little salty. I am.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being a little salty about this, Irate. I mean, for crying out loud, they're making us add ethanol to our gasoline. Oregon's trying to put a cap and trade tax on carbon. California's already done it.
All these goddamn carbon taxes that effectively do nothing but wreck economies. Yeah, wreck economies and fuck over everybody.
Well, now, I don't know if you've met me before, everyone, but this is Albert Gore. And I just want everyone to know that the carbon offset tax is you may be purchasing our carbon offsets. I am personally selling them. You need to get in touch with my secretary, and you may purchase as many of these carbon offsets as you need. They'll about $15,000 for each, 5,000 cubits. So I have the biblical model. So it'll cost just a little bit more, but you'll be glad you did in the future because all those taxes will not apply to you.
Yeah.
Remember. Well, thank you, sir, for your wonderful invention, the internet.
Well, I was just going to mention that. Thank you very much, Mr.
Irate, there's a reason the state of Tennessee didn't let Al Gore come back, right?
Yeah, no shit. They didn't even vote for him, man.
They didn't.
I know. That's how fucked up that shit is.
Yeah. The state didn't vote for him to get him elected. And then when he left, we put up barricades and said, no Al Gore return.
Yeah. You can kindly stay in California or whatever.
It's been a long time since I've resurrected that Al Gore imitation. I might have to wheel him by every once in a while. We talk about climate change.
Oh,
because, he's like a cross between. He's like a slowed down Ernest Angley. If you remember who that person is.
A little less Leslie Graham. Yeah.
Exactly. Very much. Thank you very much. I'll sit over here now and be quiet.
Oh goodness! It's funny to remember that Al Gore was literally beaten by a bush.
Yes, he was.
I'm still mad at those Chads. those fucking Chads.
Blame Florida. Oh,
exactly.
we aren't quite to that. We aren't quite to that part of the broadcast yet.
No, remember who was the governor? The governor at the time was the Jeb. He is the one. He set it all up. That should have been my job. I'm going to sit over here and talk to Hillary for a little bit.
Speaking of governors, for those of y'all that were looking at the title, I also wanted to bring up a very, very sore subject for me. So many of you know I live in Oregon. Our governor is Governor Kate Brown. And as of yesterday, she signed a new tax law that will revoke all of the tax cuts for sole proprietorships and private business owners who do their business taxes on their personal income tax paperwork for the entire state of Oregon.
Are you kidding?
Not only that, but she then turned right around and signed a statewide net neutrality law that mandates that the entire state government, city government, county governments cannot do business with any ISP that is not net neutral.
Holy shit. That is fucked up.
I'm like, first of all, where do you get off creating laws to affect companies that aren't even in the state?
Jesus.
You know what's going to happen is that businesses are going to dry up quite significantly across the board. The economic repercussions of this are going to be mighty.
Oh, they're going to be huge. Everybody that runs a stand at a farmer's market, Portland's Saturday Market, which draws people from all over the U.S. to come shop at it. I don't know why. It smells like 3-day-old pot and armpit, but people come from all over the country to shop at it. All of your small boutiques, all of your small businesses, almost all of them run in this kind of model. And they're going to all have their taxes kept at the level that they are now. But instead of getting federal benefit from it, it's going to go directly to the state.
Well, yeah, that's the, I hate to say it, but, you get what you pay for.
Oh, I know. And she's coming up for re-election. And I'm betting you because of this net neutrality bill, she's going to win by like 10,000 votes out of Multnomah County.
Man.
Because, I mean, they bus all the homeless guys up from San Francisco and down from Seattle just at Multnomah County to vote.
That's what I was going to say. That bill is going to benefit the more people in Washington and Idaho and Northern California than any Oregon native.
Oh yeah, because it's going to push all the small businesses right across the border.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is so fucked up, man. That's a hell of a price to get stoned.
Oh yeah. One heck of a serious price. Actually, it's going to dry up some of the pot shops and the pot grows.
Yep.
All of them that aren't major corporations are going to fold because they're going to have their taxes increased.
Yeah, all these
mom pop.
All these leftists that they think their wonderful governor is pulling one over on all the conservatives that they so dearly hate because of all the indoctrination that they've gotten. Well, they're about to find out just how accommodating their particular their particular philosophies really are in the real world.
But of course, if you watch my video, you're going to get to see a lovely picture of Governor Kate Brown in her pride outfit marching in the Pride Parade last year because she's the first bisexual governor of the United States.
Oh, great. Another one that boasts a first. I'm a first to this, I'm a first to that.
Oh, yeah. What's amazing is she wasn't even originally elected. I don't know how many of y'all people know what happened the past couple of years in Oregon with the governorship. A couple of years back, Governor Kitzhaber got reelected. Well, right after he got reelected, he got thrown to the FBI for influence peddling.
I see. And his lieutenant governor was then appointed.
No, she was Secretary of State.
Oh, really? So it went. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we don't have a lieutenant governor, so the Secretary of the State was moved into the governorship, and she's been governor since.
And an unelected governor is boasting, well, I'm the first this. Well, no, you're the first bisexual person that just happened to be Secretary of the State at the time of the proper governor being pinched by the feds and removed from office. No, you're kind of akin to claiming that I'm the first person to collect a Mickey Mantle baseball card. I'm the first person to get a Mickey Mantle baseball card from his rookie season. No, you were there when the guy that was holding the box of Mickey Mantle baseball cards tripped and fell, and that one slipped out of the box and happened to land at your feet. You didn't buy that. You didn't earn that. You weren't You weren't given that by the great man himself. No, you just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
Now, she is up for re-election at this point as the incumbent because she's been sitting as governor. And this is a trick that Oregon has been using in some of its judgeships for a while. Once you get somebody into the position, it's hard to get them removed.
Yeah.
Unless they do it voluntarily.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a bad analogy, but I'm flabbergasted, and that's all I can come up with.
You're right there, man. I mean, it's basically it fell in her lap.
Yeah, essentially.
And what's even funnier is she's got this LGBTQ cred, but she's married to a man.
Oh, really?
Has never been seen with another woman in the state of Oregon.
Wow. Well.
But she's bisexual.
I guess I could run for office and claim that. Well, I'm the first. I'm the first shit. I'm the first Titanic fan elected to the office of mayor of San Antonio.
Oh man. Yeah, she's got this first cred that she doesn't even have to prove. It's kind of amazing.
It's not like we can wheel Rosie O'Donnell over there on dolly and have her prove her.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's not a piss test for this kind of thing.
No, there is not. It just either is or isn't.
So she could probably be as much a bisexual as
you are
Elizabeth
a turtle.
Warren, as Elizabeth Warren is a Native American.
There you go, Six. That's a good analogy.
No, I like it better that Six is a turtle.
That's another good one, Tara. That is.
Gamera.
Dude.
Giant monster.
I love Gamera, man. He's great.
And you shoot fire out your ass.
No, I shoot my fire out of every orifice.
That's right.
I am a fire spewing
Spiky
turtle.
turtle.
From
They spinning.
Dawn of time.
Spinning.
Spin attack.
I fight giant monsters.
With your flaming, spinning attack?
Yes.
Speaking of the last monster, we have California rearing its ugly head. Also, for those of you who haven't been watching the news, California Senator Pack today introduced his bill to the Senate floor that will allow California to dictate fake news investigators for social media organizations.
Oh, they want to be Scotland then.
So, hey Kaz, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. So what's this about California?
What's up, Yiffy man?
Yiff, motherfucker.
What's up?
I was watching fucking Ross getting called out for being a pedophile, and he's doxing people over it.
Yeah, I saw that shit, man.
Yeah.
Who all did he dox, dude?
One of his friends, I guess, who's calling him out.
Son of a bitch.
So I found it this morning, man. California, it is Senate Bill 1424 is going to allow them to appoint fake news investigators, require that there be a fake news plan set in place for all social media outlets.
So they want official Snopes.com type people running around just discrediting everything as like, oh, this is far right shit.
Yep.
Like Facebook.
So
Facebook.
So they really Twitter. Are. They're going for like a Goebbels-esque ministry of propaganda.
Yeah, a ministry of truth is what I called it in the final bit on my video. Because I mean, this is straight out 1984 stuff. I mean, I didn't think I would live to see George Orwell become true.
To be honest with you, since I live in that fucking hellhole of a state, you know, obviously still am, I'm not surprised remotely. Honestly with you.
Well, Kaz, if you want to join my convoy headed east at the end of the year, you're welcome to come along.
I might consider it on a few factors.
Okay, think about it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just surprised the state hasn't collapsed. They haven't pulled like a full, like what everyone's currently thinking is like they're going to pass some pedophilia law.
Oh
But,
yeah,
hey,
man.
it's okay to fuck children. Everyone's already assuming that's going to happen in the next 2 years because these fucks are disgusting.
Agreed, and they're pushing the pedophilia as part of the LGBTQAAIP plus movement.
And people wonder why, as a faggot, I actually really dislike the LGBT.
You know, man, I don't have a problem with people's personal choices in the bedrooms, but I don't think that it should be your whole focus in politics.
Right. It shouldn't be who you are. I mean, who you fuck shouldn't be who you are.
Yeah.
That's identity politics. That's identity politics. They can't help but use that as the proverbial spearhead for anything that involves them, relates to them, or could be associated or references them. It's like they're like a big ball of spears, and every spearhead is, oh, I'm part of the LGBT something or other.
Yeah, I find it fucking cringy when I see shit like this from the LGBT, and I know a lot of people still support him for some reason.
Yeah,
I treat him like I treat feminists. I'm like, yeah, you can be for the rights of certain groups. You don't have to be for their stupid fucking movements. They're counterproductive to the maintaining of rights of the certain so-called groups they care about so much until it's convenient for them. Like they always silence the LGBT members who are like, yeah, I don't like Islam. I don't want Islam to be in my fucking Western civilization. I don't want them going around probably throwing stones at me or throwing them off buildings because they like to fuck some other dude or fuck some other chick. And it's just, this shit's ridiculous.
Well, Kaz, I remember watching a bunch of them get mad at a few of my friends who were gay because they joined the Pink Pistols. And I mean, I went down and helped them join the Pink Pistols because for crying out fucking loud, you have a right to defend yourself. I don't care if you're gay, straight, bisexual, what.
Because veteran hate,
right.
It's got to be a monolith. Either you believe what we do, or you're out of the club, mister. You're out of the club.
But I mean,
Pink Pistols, you're out of the club.
Fucking activism is such a goddamn joke. This is the reason why I give modern day activism so much shit. It's a bunch of people moral fagging as if they give a shit about other people when it's convenient. But when it actually comes down to fucking tax on the whole situation, they're just like, oh no, it's fine. Let's just fuck away people's rights conveniently because it's social justice. Fuck off.
It's a control grid to maintain this illusion of a monolith.
Yeah,
keeping the sheep in line is what they're trying to do.
It's the free booze and the televidi to keep control of the population.
Yeah,
straight out.
It's fucking ridiculous, and oh my fucking god! It's like, you know, it's like when I lose my shit half the time when I discuss LGBT shit, right? Because half the time they're like, oh, what about gay marriage and Donald Trump? Okay, what about bug catchers?
Yeah.
What about fucking child pedophilia that happens within the LGBT? What about that shit?
They don't want to talk about that, man.
Don't give me the shit about virtue signaling. Oh, I'm such a leftist. I care about the gays. You don't talk about these issues. You don't talk about Islam. Fuck off.
Right. They don't want to get their own house in order. They'd just rather stand in front of yours and throw rocks at you because they don't like you, because you're guilty of wrong thing according to them.
Yeah, exactly. I get that all the fucking time. When I have friends who are leftists, or I argue with people for over these discussions, right? And like I'm obviously a very vocal person. And you'd be like, they're okay with me at first because, oh, hey, it's just a faggot. He's a good faggot. He sounds like a reasonable guy. When I disagree with him in politics, they're like, fuck you, you piece of shit. You're gonna go burn in hell, faggot.
Hey, Cookie Monster.
Hello.
It's fucking retarded.
Hey there.
Hey, Scoob, how you doing?
All right.
I guess you came in the middle of the insanity we were discussing about on California and their censorship law that just got put forward.
What happened now with the
Pulling a
censorship?
Facebook Snopes 2.0 at this point.
Oh, so
yeah, Senator Pack in California put forward a bill that's going to require truth investigators for fake news, a fake news plan for all social media sites, and a fake news action diminishing return plan to stop and mitigate fake news affecting elections.
well, okay.
Straight up Ministry of Truth, man.
Yeah. Holy shit!
Yeah, they went full Goebbels there.
Mm-hmm. It's sitting on the California Senate floor right now, man. I caught the news on it this morning, straight out of Sacramento, on one of my feeds. And I mean, that was what my video on California today was about, is actually that bill. I've got a link in the description to that actual bill on the Senate floor.
I definitely have to check that out then.
Yeah, it's worth checking out, man, because it's coming. And once California does it, any other state that is heavily progressive is going to try for it.
Like mine.
Mine.
Yeah. Oh, goody gumdrops.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they'd be able to get away with doing that up here, though. I mean, there's too many of their own kind that they'd be having to check up on. And a lot of the ones here are even crazier than the ones you have in California. I look at it like this. You have the psychos out in Cali, and then over in New York, you have the psycho herders. Basically, you have like a different flavor of nuts. They're a lot more organized here, and they're a lot more vicious. So I think a lot more of like the more damaging fake news would come out of New York. So I'm just gonna guess that they probably aren't gonna try to clamp down the same way they were in Cali. You know,
I don't know, man. You might be surprised, because Kaz, you can back me up on this. I know the LGBTQ community up here in Portland, as well as the anarcho-communist movement up here. They're nasty. I mean,
oh yeah, they are.
I've dealt with drug.
You were one of their members, like, you know, the part of the LGBT, and you speak out and you don't agree with politics. You're fucking nasty on that front, even harder. Yeah,
right. But I'm just saying, all the publishing houses are usually located either here or in Illinois. So
yeah.
It would be too much of a hit to the GDP for them to do censorship here, is my thing.
And you might be right on that fact, but still, watch out for it. It might be coming.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they could probably try to finagle something to fuck us somehow. But this is the thing: unless they can make a buck at it, I just see, like, the way you were describing it to me. The whole time you were talking, all I kept hearing was ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Like, how much is this costing the taxpayers? New York will not do that sort of expenditure. We have a completely different outlook fiscally. We're actually very conservative fiscally. We're very conservative progressives. You'd be amazed how fast these people turn conservative when it goes to their pocketbook. That's why I think that's probably why a lot of leftists have an opinion of New Yorkers on their own. Just because they are beholden to the almighty dollar. Thank God for that much. It's probably the only thing. Yeah, it's probably the only thing that is keeping us from going and following lockstep behind you, Cass. Like,
yeah, literally, I don't doubt it, because fucking California, we have the fucking leaders here who run this fucking show don't have that same conservative financial mindset. They have no problem completely destroying their own economy just for the sake of their utopian nonsense.
I feel you, Kaz. I mean, that one of the things we were talking about, the governor signing taxes, that was Governor Kate Brown. She signed a tax law removing all of the tax cuts for sole proprietorships and pass-through businesses in the state of Oregon. It's going to cripple small business.
Oh, fucking hell. You know, I'm going to bet some serious money, probably not even 2 years from now, probably not even a few months, give or take, California's probably going to pass some kind of gun control law that suggests that you have to pay tons of money just to have a license. And like, don't be surprised if it's like you have to pay a certain amount of money per month just to keep your fucking guns.
Oh yeah.
At this point, I already know they're trying something like that.
Well, I know Oregon's got their assault weapons ban coming up on the November ballot, man, and that's one of the reasons I'm looking to leave.
Jesus
Because
Christ.
I can't expect it not to pass.
Get your ass back in the South where you belong.
Gotta get rid of these assault AR-15s. They look black and scary.
Well, shoot, Kaz, my turkey gun comes up on this new assault weapon.
Oh my god.
It's a semi-automatic with a threaded barrel choke and a pistol grip.
Apparently they have something against me shooting, you guys shooting turkeys. What's wrong with little gobble gobble shooting?
Dude, they're an invasive species in Oregon. They're begging turkey hunters to take 4 tags a year, but they want to outlaw my turkey gun.
That's so fucking retarded.
It is.
Yeah. Instead, they want me to use like a break action single shot or something.
These people have no concept of weaponry or tools.
Someone says that they think they're trying to have folks buy licenses so you can get ammo.
Oh yeah, that's what they're doing. That's kind of what I've.
Washington's been trying that.
Yeah. California has already had them trying that. Again,
Well,
it's
that's what-
California. They go against every single constitution that exists one way or another. They don't give a fuck. So why Donald Trump's calling them a rogue state at this point?
Yeah. Well, whatever you pay on whatever state you guys are in, whatever you pay for your ammo, you can either double or triple it depending. That's what we pay over here. Yeah, Cuomo. That's what Cuomo did. He enacted the ammo laws. Basically, that's part of the problem I have is everything that you guys are saying usually starts in the New York Senate in Albany. It's usually something that gets kicked around up there, and if we don't adopt it, somebody else does. But usually, like the common sense gun laws, those are all Governor Cuomo's right there. With his 7 fucking rounds in the clip. If you can't get it done in 7 shots, yeah, Mr. Governor, what happens if there's 8 assailants? What the fuck is the matter with him? But
What happens if I miss 2 times and there's 7 of them?
yeah, seriously, the common sense, really.
I guess
Okay.
you're going to have to get some through and throughs.
Well,
I'm going to have to Deadpool them.
well,
Yep.
he's gonna make him live by his own restrictions. Restrict all of his restrict all of his little security group.
Yeah.
To 7 rounds each.
Who Dandy Andy, Don Mario's son? Yeah.
No. Restrict him to 7 rounds in total.
That would be
Oh,
awful.
so only 7 people with 1 round apiece.
Essentially. Or maybe 6, but 1 with 2.
Yeah, right. Mix it up a little bit. I can't believe, it's funny. Thank God we have the Bill of Rights. Look at what we're going through now. Can you imagine if we didn't have that Bill of Rights?
Oh, man, I say
We'd be
a
the
prayer
UK.
every night.
Yeah.
Thankful that our Bill of Rights is a negative Bill of Rights, telling them what they can't take away from us. And still they try.
Yeah. Well, I told you what that kid told me he was taught. Oh, Cass, you weren't around the other night. Check this out.
But
I had lunch with a communist yesterday.
oh boy, I can guess where this is going. Oh boy.
And so, nicest guy. But he told me, he said, you know what, look, I love guns myself. He's like, but he shrugged his shoulders. He's like, come on, we got to get rid of the Second Amendment. I go, why? He's like, well, because. He's like, the only reason they have the Second Amendment, he said, to begin with, was because, they were using guns to shoot the runaway slaves. He said, that's the whole reason that they have the Second Amendment. And now it gets better. And the cops, the only reason that we have police, he said, was, to catch the escaping slaves. So I said to him, I said, all right, do you mind if I ask you, if you could cite the source material for this? And without even missing a beat, he waves it off and goes, oh, for God's sake, that's the shit I learned in school. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, never
Yeah,
mind
if-
the fact that, we had a whiskey rebellion a year after the Constitution was initialized and hadn't been ratified yet.
Yeah.
And President Washington marched a militia to go deal with that whiskey rebellion. Yeah. Gun ownership was just for slaves.
Yeah. Never mind the fact, I wanted to say to him, but when he told me that's what he was, I don't know.
Somebody is screaming. Who is screaming?
There we go.
There we go.
Sorry about that, guys.
Gosh.
I have no idea what was going
She
on.
needs to mute herself.
Yeah.
But Second Amendment was only about shooting slaves. Does he not realize how expensive slaves were at that time?
Well, this is the thing. This is literally what they taught him in school. So that's when I didn't. This is the thing. Like, I gave this kid a lot of ground because I wanted to hear what he learned educationally. Now, this is the thing. Like, he was taking classes in high school on economics. So when I brought up Thomas Sowell, and when I brought up Walter Williamson, he's like, "Who are they?"
Wait, he didn't know Sowell or Williamson? Did he at least know Hayek?
Sorry, you froze for a second. I didn't hear what you said.
I said, did he at least know Hayek?
I didn't get that far into it. When he didn't know Thomas Sowell or Walter Williamson, I was like, okay. He should know them. I don't know. I know almost nothing about it.
Okay. Scoop. Egg roll.
Oh, damn it. All right, give me a second.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Didn't know Soul.
Yeah.
No fucking soul.
I did mute myself. The kid's acting up. I had sent a message to Mountain Man saying,
you somehow unmuted again, so I had to mute you back. Sorry about that.
Huh, I had muted myself, and odd.
Yeah, you somehow unmuted mid-yell, and so we were like, wait a minute, what's going on? And I'm like, oh wait, Tara mentioned something.
Probably like a misclick or something. Like a mistake.
Yeah, I might have accidentally did a double click. I've done that. Yeah. Especially when I'm in a hurry to try and mute myself.
Yep. So, Scoob, you back with us?
Yeah. How do I sound?
There we go. You sound better.
Okay, cool.
Well, see, the reason I bring up Hayek is Hayek and Keynes are the two basic primers for macroeconomics. I mean, Hayek disproved Keynes. Keynes came up with the animal theory of economic markets.
Yeah. I feel so bad for this kid that I invited him on the stream. He's probably going to get shredded.
Oh wait, who did you just invite?
This communist. I told him, I said, you're welcome to come stream with us. And he's like, I just hope that your friends are prepared, that they have to deal with it. I'm telling him the truth. He's like, I got 300 years of leftist literature to back me up. I said, okay, man, I'll prepare them.
That's fine. I've got all the way back to Greek philosophy.
I want to see this leftist literature.
Oh, yeah. I've read half of it. I've got all the way back to Greek philosophy on me.
Well,
bring it.
He was basically the first two things he cited. He said, was Das Kapital, Volume 1 and 2, and he said, you can't start with those. He's like, because they're really big books. I said, well, I read both of them. I said, I don't remember them, but I did actually read them. I remember them lying around somewhere, so I started thumbing through them.
God, Hobbes was a harder read than Das Kapital.
Yeah.
Hang on, I got a dog problem.
All right.
No problem.
Angry doggo.
Yeah, he's got a dog problem. I got a kid problem.
Which one is messy than the other? The question is the kid, actually. Yeah. For you.
Oh man.
Oh fucking hell.
So how? What's that?
No, I was gonna say. So how is everyone today?
I'm doing fine. Other than my state's like constantly going to shit as I go to the gym every day or every day I can. Yeah, I'm fine.
That sucks.
It's like watching the episode of SpongeBob. He's like the old man fish guy just walking like down the street and like the whole town's on fire, but he just doesn't give.
Yeah. Sorry to hear. Yeah, it sucks. And I'm reminded every time that you hop on, oh man, this kid is from California and he's still there. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm offering to let him come along with my convoy when we leave, because I mean, I was going to avoid California altogether, Kaz, but if you really want me to, I'll swing south and pick you up as we head east.
Oh, I'd take him up on it. Seriously.
I probably might consider.
Head east. That's a good 70s band.
Yeah, man.
And it's also a good idea. Get the fuck off the West Coast.
Oh yeah, because the tide is getting high out here, and the communism's coming.
Yep.
You know, there's plenty of room in the Texas Hill Country. You might want to avoid Austin because it's kind of like San Francisco took a big shit in the middle of Texas and
nice bastard child.
I honestly want to go to Austin and harass those fucking people.
Be my guest.
Seriously, I want to like make a point of it. I found for sale really cheap a CJ7. I was thinking of putting like, you know, some really nice, maybe 72-inch fucking mudders on that thing. You know, something where you need like a step ladder to get in and out.
Yeah.
Open headers, you know.
And a pair of mud flaps with the Yosemite Sam that says, back off.
No, even better. I'll get the ones with the chrome chicks on it.
Oh, there you go.
I know a guy around here. I can go up over into Island Park, right outside of Queens. That's where they bring all the oil that comes in that goes to, like, you know, the refineries around here. But there's a guy over there, and he'll make you your own mud flaps. And so I want him to put the chicks on there, but I want him to make the tits on them really big. And I wanted to say on the mud flaps, "Where's my sandwich?"
Oh my god!
Yeah, and I'll just go driving around Austin. I'll purposefully move there just to drive through Austin to fuck with those people. I'll single-handedly try to see if I can get them to move the fuck out of Texas.
Well, you know.
Well, I would be much appreciative.
Since I'm headed back to Tennessee, I might have to make several stops through Memphis over the next couple of years and see if I can push some of them leftists out of Tennessee, out of Memphis, and maybe towards the West Coast.
Ship them all to California. Ship them all there.
What did poor Kaz ever do to you? Why do we want to dump all our problems on him?
Well, do an exchange program. Get all the sensible people off the West Coast and
right now I'm okay only because I'm in like the fucking more countryside area of the entire state. One of the few places with actual guns and people who don't have a lot of crazy fucks trying to rape everybody here. You know,
you mean
not a sanctuary state? So
you mean you're north of San Francisco?
Pretty much.
Cool.
But that shit's getting really bad quickly, though.
I know. I see the news on it every day, man.
I've been honestly thinking about maybe we should just give Minnesota back to the Native Americans. That way it displaces all the leftists.
Yeah.
But then again, they probably all just move somewhere else, so can't do that.
They'll probably move to Canada.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, okay, this works. So let's get the Native Council on the horn. Does anyone have the number of the 6 nations?
I don't, but I might be able to get it for you, man. Because
right.
I think I still have some Cherokee family members.
Unfortunately for Irving, they're probably all going to head to Toronto.
Oh, hell. Poor Irving. We'll get him a 1M visa and bring him back here to the States.
There we go.
We got to get Irv down here, seriously. The poor bastard.
Get him some land just outside of what the hell's
Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay, and have him room with Minding Freedom.
I don't know. Irv's a city boy. He might have to actually move probably closer into like Oh, fuck. There's nowhere in the Midwest he could actually move. I'm thinking about it.
Billing.
Seriously. I was just going through like a list of cities. I'm like, no, I can't suggest Chicago. I can't suggest Detroit. What about Milwaukee? Oh, wait, no, they burned Milwaukee down. Fuck, there's no city I can name that I can think of that's still standing or wrecked. You know, that
Billings. Billings, Montana, man. Billings, Montana. That's the only one left.
I just find it so ironic. The leftists have basically taken over every city and run it to the fucking ground.
That's what they do, man.
I know, right?
Socialism kills.
Yeah, and they create a permanent underclass with any inner city that they get their hands on.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm telling you right now, and I'm saying this for a reason because, you know, it's going out live so people can actually watch this again. I actually am in class with a girl who is probably about maybe 5 foot tall and maybe 110 pounds. Maybe. I'm actually physically afraid of her.
Oh.
I'm like afraid of this girl. Like seriously.
Why?
The little ones can be scary. I grew up in the land of short Latinas. They can be some scary chicks.
Prostate, I think honestly, she would get me down on the ground and she'd probably work me over with a screwdriver if she could.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, is she blonde?
No, she's I'm guessing she could either be Italian or she could be Spanish or she could be Jewish, just because of she's one of those what the fucks, you know, you look at her like, okay, you're not exactly Caucasian, you're something else. But the thing of it is with her, that's neither here nor there. She's a diehard feminist.
Oh God!
And she's spoken 3 times in the class. And I told the communists this yesterday. I flat out told them, I said, look, I got no problem talking to you. You seem very, very peaceable. You seem rational, very civil. I don't mind talking to you. I said, I'm not going to lie. I told him towards the end of the conversation, he seemed a little bit nervous when I told him. I said, look, I was raised, you know, that I should have killed you by this point. But I'm listening to you. But I told him earlier in the conversation, I don't mind talking to you. But that girl, I said, I'm not going to talk to her. I said, she fucking scares me.
Yep.
I said, you know, she strikes me as the type she'd bite off one of my ears.
Yeah, third wave feminists that's a religion. It's not a philosophical deal. It's religious.
Yeah, and comparable with its violent tendencies to I don't even need to mention.
Well,
see, the question I have to ask to you guys is, like, since when has an ultra leftist, socialist, pro-socialist type group not been some kind of cult-like religion at some point in order for its survivability? Because its ideas are so batshit insane to most people.
Well, that's the only way that they can maintain the control grid is to have that type of structure.
Well, guys, now, to be fair, if you've read Prairie Fire, which I read a digital copy of it that was scanned in, feminism is basically extreme communism in a skirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, see, one of the tenets of communism is this idea that human beings have no differences between each other, despite the biological, psychological evidence otherwise. So I'm not surprised.
Third wave feminism is quite starkly a Marxist movement.
Yeah,
it is.
It has nothing to do with equality of the sexes. It has nothing to do with women's rights. It has everything to do with control.
It does.
It's setting a control grid, a Marxist control grid.
Shoot, I mean, even if you don't want to look at modern feminists, look at the prohibition movement that joined with the KKK to push progressive income taxation so that they could ban alcohol in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
Well, I want to give you guys a scenario of what I sat through in this class yesterday, just really quick. This is why I said this girl scares me. the teacher told us the story. I'm going to give you the quick version because he was a teacher, so he was dragging the shit out. The woman who was the choreographer who invented cats. She, came up with the dancing for cats.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she invented the animal cats. No.
Yeah, no.
That ain't natural anymore.
Yeah, well, so she did the choreography for cats. So she was explaining, the teacher rather, he was explaining how she was, this is before they knew what ADHD was, and she later on in life, they found out she had ADHD. So they took her to all of these different teachers, and they were going to try putting her on medication. And so, rather doctors, excuse me. They took her to all these different doctors, and they were thinking about putting her on medication. So they took her to this one last specialist. And so the specialist said to her, I want to talk to your mother really quick. Do you mind if I leave you here in the office? And so she said, yeah, sure, no problem. And so the teacher, the doctor had turned on the radio. And so as he was outside with the mother, they were looking through the window, and sure enough, after like a minute or two, the girl got up and started dancing around the room. And he turned to her and he said, your daughter is not sick. Your daughter is a dancer. Take her to dance school. So he asks the class, what did you take away from that? And this girl, long story short, she said, the time for civility is over, was what she got from that. Because obviously they were trying the civil approach, so they had to do something radical. So ipso facto, the time for civility was over, and they had to try a radical approach.
Oh boy.
That's what she took away from that story. You understand now why I'm afraid of a girl that I'm twice her body weight?
Yeah, because she just like I was, the analogy that I had earlier with the LGBT, that the people, the spearhead for everything about them, every aspect of their lives, is they're like a big ball of spears pointed out, and each of the spearheads is their identity politics, their LGBT identity politics. Same goes for these third wave feminists. It is so much their existence that they can't help but be a ball of spears.
You and I are around the same age, Six, and you're from Texas, so you probably had a lot more exposure to them around that era. But when we were first in college, you know who these SJWs remind me of? The fucking neocons.
Yeah, exactly. They're very, very, very similar. The same kind of fanaticism, maybe a different flavor, but virtually the same kind of fanaticism, where, it was unquestionable. You could not question them, or when it came to the neocons, you were not patriotic if you questioned anything that they said. This with these SJWs, as it's you're literally Hitler.
Yeah.
You're like literally Hitler. I'm like, bitch, have you ever read a fucking anything about Nazis? Like, I just think you're Hitler.
What really makes me upset is if you actually look at the fascismo model of governance as pushed by Mussolini and Mussolini out of Italy, the modern Democrat Party fits it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Government direct control over how business is allowed to operate while still allowing business to be privatized. Government control over the population with progressive taxation and socialist policies, and an endless cycle of nationalistic war.
Yeah.
My biggest problem I have now that I've been seeing lately, the past week or two, is I've been hearing all these naysayers have been coming out. They have a problem with Bolton being reappointed. My thing is this. I remember when Bolton was in, and I remember that a lot of the problems that we had was Bolton would give advice, and they'd say, okay, that's great. We're going to do the opposite.
Yep.
And I remember this very clearly because I remember Bolton as being a very dour man in the last two administrations, because for the past 16 years, Bolton has been the most sought-after, ignored man. That's really got to be a frustrating thing when you think about it. And he's the one person I've seen more than anyone else where his advice has been completely disregarded for no reason. I'm not like trying to put him up on a pedestal, but what the fuck are you bringing the man out for? Putting him in positions and then disregarding everything he says when, if you look, you know,
Well,
again, I'm not
Scoob, I
trying
have
to
a
be an
theory.
apologist. It's just, it amazes me.
I have a theory, Scooby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced that that those in past administrations didn't have the first clue what to do, and they knew it, so they brought in a guy that they knew they would disagree with, listened to everything that he said, and were pleased because now they knew exactly what to do. Everything opposite of what that man just said.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
people vote for them still.
Yeah, exactly. I think Bolton is just one of the most common sense people. I mean, every time I hear an interview with him, he's just like, well, holy shit, no shit. You know, it's just like he's a no nonsense guy, and I like him. I don't know. Am I missing something? You
know, the thing with Syria that's going on now, everyone's like all freaked the fuck out. Look, whatever the fuck is going on in the Middle East, I hate saying it, we weren't the ones behind the wheel at the time, but this country was the vehicle that crashed the fuck into the Middle East, you know, and it is what destabilized it. That fucking pantsuited goddamn harpy. We came, we saw, he died, destroyed Western civilization. That's the phrase that killed the fucking West. Seriously. She destabilized the whole goddamn Middle East. They spilled into Europe. This is why you have the fucking truck of peace everywhere. Now you got fucking, they're banning knives in London. All because of her and that floppy-eared 44 fuck. Obama, the two of them. Christ, that guy shouldn't have been left to run a youth center in Detroit. And he's friggin' in the White House. Come on. That's the problem. But unfortunately...
Well, he had to be a first something, because everybody knows being the first something is a good thing.
Yeah, just ask the person.
It's more important to be the first thing than it is to be the good thing.
Just imagine we fucking hit World War III and our officers are being replaced by the first batch of gay people, but none of them actually know how to lead a fucking military. It's kind of how we're doing it right now.
I'm not too worried about it, Cass, because combat has a way of fixing things.
Yeah.
It evens shit out.
It sure does. Friendly fire and shit.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened.
What
do you mean he was sent by a 5.56? I was pointed that way.
The fog of war. It was the fog of war.
It ricocheted off a tin can.
I'm sorry. He just said Allah Akbar. I just had to do something.
He shot himself.
Repeatedly in the back.
And speaking of shooting oneself, I hate to segue, but we haven't touched any of the chaos.
Yes, we do have the chaos news. I'm sorry, we got on the politics.
Hey, it was good. Hey, when we're rolling, we're rolling.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's see.
You guys got any Molly?
You holding? You cool? Okay, let's see. Detectives investigating after Florida police officer accidentally shoots himself.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
You know, before you get too far into that 1-6, I just realized, I just wanted to point out what a pack of reprobates we are that every single one of us got Tara's joke.
Yeah.
Hey, now, I resemble that remark.
I'm sorry.
Shit.
Okay. Northport, Florida. Detectives are investigating after a police officer allegedly accidentally shot himself in Northport, police say. According to the Northport Police, just before 6:30 p.m. on Monday, police and fire personnel responded to a call of a shooting at the Morgan Family Community Center. When they arrived, they found that only one person was involved and that the incident was accidental in nature. Detectives and crime scene personnel are investigating. Police say that the 25-year-old is a police officer with the Sarasota Police Department, according to the SPD. The officer was not in uniform at the time of the accidental shooting. Quote, officers with the Sarasota Police Department are working with the Northport Police Department to investigate this shooting. There will be an in-depth review of this incident to ensure all policies and procedures were followed. SPD wrote in a press release.
How much you want to bet he forgot to unload his gun while he was cleaning it?
I would say that
how do you forget to unload your gun when you're cleaning it? Is my question. He was contemplating suicide over there, and he shot himself in the leg when he put his gun down. I hate to say it, but I mean, I've
either that or a Boondock Saints incident happened. He put down the gun, slammed his hand on the table, and ended up shooting his leg instead of the cat.
Well, here's the thing. What most likely scenario that I have is that he pulled his firearm out for some reason. I don't know why, but it was either one without an outside safety, or he was cocked and locked, and the safety was not engaged, and so he probably. This is a young guy. This is probably not some guy that did a lot of holster drills with snap caps, dummy rounds. So he's probably not so accustomed to whipping that thing out without breaching the trigger guard, which you never do when you're drawing. So I would say that this is an accidental discharge because he was just not familiar with the action of pulling out his firearm. So yeah, that's at least my assessment of it. I know nothing of what happened here, just based on what I know of people who have accidentally shot themselves. That was the case. It was an accidental discharge after pulling from holster.
It reminds me of a story that I remember hearing when we had to do current events when I was in high school, about maybe 23 years ago now. One of the guys, it was the guy who shot me in the head. He brought in this article, and he was reading it. And I'm pretty sure it was a guy either down your way, 6, down in Texas, or he might have been in New Mexico. But he was cleaning his gun collection, and he was really drunk. And for whatever reason, his guns were loaded. So he shot himself in the foot and leg with each one of his guns. And he didn't realize till he got to the Magnum, because that was the one that hurt. He was really drunk when he did this.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You gotta be damn near flammable to not feel being shot, even with something as small as a 22. Shit.
Yeah.
I would say he was at least as likely to die from alcohol poisoning as lead poisoning. Holy shit.
I got a little piece of steel in my arm, Scoob, and I felt every bit of that motherfucker. Okay?
Yeah.
Little piece. We're talking
I got
5 millimeter.
From an old hammer embed itself in my arm, and I felt that. And so I holy shit. Yeah, he was damn near flammable.
Yeah, he should have been passed out.
And
I remember what it said, because
completely.
They had a quote from the guy, and he said, by the time I got to the 44 and it went off, I said, ow, that hurt. And I decided, maybe I should check. And he said, I looked down, and he said, sure enough, there was blood everywhere. So I said I should call an ambulance.
Oh,
motherfucker.
Damn.
no shit.
How the fuck do you shoot yourself in the leg with 6 different guns 6 different times?
I'm sorry, Skip. That guy had
How do you not hear the bang?
He heard the bang. He just figured he missed. He wasn't sure if he hit himself. But that's when he called. He called and he said, "Yeah, I got myself with the Magnum when I was cleaning my guns." And they said, "You didn't just get yourself with the Magnum. You got yourself with every gun because we pulled 6 different rounds out of your leg."
He breached the trigger guard 6 times in a row with 6 loaded weapons, and
just some guy sitting around on a hot Saturday night, drunk as a fucking skunk, decided to clean his gun collection. I guess he forgot to unload them first.
no, you don't go anywhere near your guns when you've been drinking.
I
Nowhere
agree, but-
near.
Tell that to that dumb fucker.
It's negligence, son of a bitch. That. Oh.
Well, all I know is
You unload the son of a bitch. Even if you are 150,000% sure that you have an unloaded weapon, even if you just check to make sure that thing is unloaded, you make sure it's unloaded again before you start messing with it. Son of a bitch.
I'm going to try to find this article. It's from like 95 or 96. It's old, but...
Okay. Well, anyway, the police officer involved was taken to a local hospital with serious but not life-threatening injuries. So, yeah, I think this idiot shot himself in the leg. I don't know why the hell he'd want to pull out his...
Hey, look, Ma, I'm a cop.
Fucking Darwin Award goes to.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't even get an honorable mention, man. He didn't even blow a ball off, so...
I'm surprised he
No,
survived.
speaking of-
Fucking 6 shots into him.
They probably asked him during the thing, you know, how do you feel? Oh, I don't feel that bad. I had an uncle shot himself 6 times once.
Oh, boy.
My uncle shot himself 3 times in the head. He was still going just fine.
Oh, my God.
Well, y'all, yeah, I need to spliticate. Got a thing I'm doing at 10:30, and I also in the process, I got to give birth to some politicians. If you understand. What I'm saying. So,
Yeah, I got you.
Stand up straight, sir.
All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay.
See you tomorrow,
Yeah.
all right.
Love, peace, chicken grease.
Yep.
Good night, brother.
Take it easy, man. All right. Anybody feel like another Florida man story?
Sure. Why not?
Well, as long as our senior Florida correspondent, Colleen Bernier, sets him up, we will knock him down. All right. Florida man arrested after being caught masturbating to sunbathers in car.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
This guy was doing the knuckle shuffle in his little sedan watching sunbathers. Yep. So, is it Dunedin or Dunedin or Dunedin?
I need a spelling.
Dunedin.
And I'm just sitting here like, whatever happened to just watching some fucking porn?
Can you type it out into the YouTube chat?
Sure.
Cass, I guess he didn't understand that he could get porn on his phone now.
Yeah. Said
My friend got hepatitis.
Delta Uniform November Echo Delta. Oh, is it Indigo or India? Is it India? They keep changing it.
India.
November.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. What is with this fucking confusion here?
That's just military.
It's a name of a Florida city, and I'm not recognizing it myself. Not right now. I whacked my head pretty good, so I'm kind of nauseous.
Oh. Fuck.
Dunedin. Isn't that where the sandworms are?
No, that's Arrakis. That's Arrakis.
I thought you meant Tremors. What?
That's between Arrakis and a hard place. Anyhow, speaking of a hard place, a 22-year-old safety harbor man was caught looking at women in bathing suits and masturbating inside his vehicle Friday on the Dunedin Causeway. I'm just going to say Dunedin. Pinellas County Sheriff deputies say they caught Jacob Lawrence Morris after he unintentionally parked next to an unmarked Pinellas County Sheriff's deputy cruiser while pleasuring himself.
So this guy parked next to the cops and started skinning his lizard.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep. He didn't really make it a challenge, did he? According to arrest reports, Morris pulled over several times near where the women in bathing suits were sunbathing, according to the deputy. Morris was inside his parked truck masturbating with his window down on the beach portion of the Dunedin Causeway. Detectives watched as he circled the beach portion of the causeway for approximately 15 minutes, pulling over several times where female subjects were sunbathing. I'm sure they got a pretty good show and a lot of laughs.
Seriously, man, Pornhub.com.
Yeah.
Seriously, dude, what? It's like you got
well, I guess it's one of those instant karma kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people are just degenerates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know when you're topping a fur fag like me in the degenerate scale. You know you've done something fucked.
Yeah, well, at least you aren't yiffing in front of some cops. Okay, let's see. A man
It'll be an average
accused
Tuesday for them.
a man accused of trying to steal car from is it Alachua?
Yes.
Alachua County Jail parking lot. Wow. These look like prime fertile grounds for stealing cars. Holy shit. Gainesville.
You're pretty much pronouncing it the right way, because I'm looking at the phonetics and it's Dunedin.
Dunedin, okay.
How do you pronounce it, really?
I'm looking at it. The phonetic pronunciation is D-U-N, 2 long E's, D-I-N.
Okay.
Maybe it's a colony for expatriated Australians.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know. It might be something left over from the Spaniards.
Could be.
So let's see. Alachua County Sheriff's deputies didn't have to travel far to catch a man accused of trying to steal a car Monday. Deputies say 29-year-old Ernest Holmes was caught trying to break into the car from the jail parking lot.
Oh, my God.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, boy.
Sergeant Brett Rodenizer said members of the Paws on Patrol program were training nearby when they saw Holmes emerge from the woods to try to break into a car. So a wild car thief has just arrived. Oh, God. Okay, deputies.
A wild car thief has just appeared.
Yeah. Deputies charged him with grand theft auto and drug possession after they say he had prescription drugs that didn't belong to him.
Little oxy in the tank?
I guess so. And a few spares that, have now landed him a little farther from freedom than he would otherwise have been. He is being held just a short walk away at the jail, so they didn't have to take him very far.
Jesus.
So he made it easy. I think he may have made it a little easier than the parking lot masturbator.
He was a considerate car thief.
He was very considerate. You don't have far to take me. Just bust me.
I know exactly where he was.
Building.
Wait, what?
Where it's talking about he tried to jack the car. I know exactly where it's at.
Oh. Well, shit.
Volusia
Being
County.
as I've spent 2 nights in that jail, and well, technically 3 in my entire life.
What the hell are you getting there for?
Battery.
Oh.
Damn you, Duracell.
Self-defense.
Oh, just kidding.
I didn't get an overnighter for mine. I got an ROR same day. Well, mine was assault, though, but it got knocked out to criminal mischief and no charges, just court fees. So.
Oh. Every time I got released on ROR.
I lucked out, too.
And then the cases got dismissed.
I beat the shit out of a judge's son in broad daylight. You know, I really lucked out that they gave me an ROR.
Yeah, you did.
Really? Well, they didn't know they didn't know at the time what it was like when it came across the desk. Like they looked. I had no record at all.
When you were beating the shit out of his son, did you yell, "I am the law"?
What it was, he showed up at my job and he threatened to shoot my mother and my wife. So,
Wow.
yeah, the guys at the job, they go like this. They turned and they said to me, they're like, "Yo, Scoob, we shut the cameras off." I said, "Oh, okay, cool." So I beat the shit out of him. But he called the cops. You know, the cops showed up. They're like, "Well, what's wrong?" "Well, our cameras were off. We were having them fixed." They're like, "Okay, can you?" Because there's blood all over the floor. There's blood all over the side of the building. What happened to this guy? Well, he was sneezing a lot. Maybe he has a coke problem.
Yeah.
But it did turn out he did have a coke problem. But that they came for me anyway. The kid pressed charges. He signed statements. That's all you need in New York.
Jesus Christ.
You know that if I accuse you of a crime in this state, as long as I sign a statement, they have to come arrest you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Same here.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's New York.
Evidence? What's that? Anyhow.
Oh, you are the evidence.
That's not Marxist enough for us. Fuck evidence. This is the.
Well, the beauty of it is, Cass, if I get arrested because you gave the information, they give me your full info. They give me your name, your address, your phone number, everything. New York state law, you have to be able to know who your accuser is. Yeah.
So there's a giant trade-off with that, huh?
Yeah, no anonymity whatsoever.
Damn.
I could live.
So after you get out, you can hunt them down and whoop their ass.
Which is
And I guess it's
constantly.
bad there because obviously, from what I can tell from you, and in fucking New York, what goes around comes around. Clearly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of that goes. Believe me, I've gotten my ass beat because I've earned it a few times. There's been times where I've been going down the street where when I first was dating my wife, where I've told her, I said, "Do me a favor, keep walking, don't stop." "Why? What's the matter?" I said, "You see that car? Yeah, I'm about to get into it." "What do you mean?" Sure enough, the car will pull over. 4 guys get out. "Yo, Scooby, come here." And I get into it with them. I mean, I'm not a fucking superhero. I'm still alive, but obviously I was the worse for wear afterwards. And she'd say, "What the fuck was that about?" And it was something from back in the day. The guy just came home. He did whatever X amount of years. He still felt raw about it. A couple of other idiots he was with also just came home. That's the scenario. Luckily, I'm nearly 40. Most of these guys are dead. It doesn't happen anymore. I outlived them.
Yeah. That's all you gotta do is.
Yeah, keep your head down and they'll be dead eventually.
Yeah. Well, there's these guys are pretty lucky. Volusia County, Florida. 2 Volusia County deputies were suspended without pay after horseplaying and activating a taser while court was in session, according to documents provided by the sheriff's office. Damn.
That's great.
Officials said the incident happened in Judge James Clayton's DeLand courtroom on October 17th while Deputy Veronica Had and Deputy Stephen Wells were working security. The judge was seated and 1 prisoner, 5 attorneys, other deputies, court personnel, and 6 members of the public were in the courtroom. Records show that Wells, a courtroom bailiff who had worked for the Volusia County Sheriff's Office for 18 years, marked Had with a pen or marker as they were joking back and forth. He also grabbed a microfiber rag and hit Had in the face with it, officials said. Get a room. Had then pulled,
you're in the middle of court. Why are you horsing around?
And Had then pulled out her taser, took the cartridge off, and activated as it was pointed at the ground, according to Internal Affairs report.
Okay, that's not accidental. She intended to zap someone.
Quote, I forgot until I watched the video and read my packet that I punched him first, but I guess I thought that wasn't enough, so I was going to one-up his smack in the face, and I took my taser out. I took the cartridge off the front and kept it pointed at the ground. I pulled the trigger for like half a second, and it turned off, Had told officials during an internal affairs investigation. After the taser was activated, Had grabbed the rag so Wells could not hit her with it again. She leaned on the counter next to Wells, and he pushed her arm off, according to documents show. She then left the courtroom. Quote, that kind of pissed me off, and before it got worse, I left because I didn't want to go any further, Had told the officials. Investigators said the video from the courtroom showed Had putting the hood of her firearms holster down, but Had said she was just adjusting her uniform, the report said. Both Had and Wells told investigators they also get along and have worked together since the incident without issue. Wells said it's just his persona to horseplay with everybody, according to documents. Had also said in regard to the taser, I don't remember, but it's not like I was going to shoot him, documents show. The results of the Internal Affairs investigation was presented to Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood, who agreed that Had violated department policies pertaining to horseplay, use and handling of weapons, and other policies, while Wells was found to have violated policies regarding horseplay and knowledge of official directives, among other rule violations. Originally, both deputies were to be suspended without pay for 40 hours, but it was later reduced to 16 hours, records showed. Had served her suspension on March 22nd and 23rd. Wells served his on March 1st and 2nd.
What?
Really?
What the fuck? In a courtroom while proceedings are going on, the
Seriously?
two of you jackasses are playing grab ass. Son of a bitch.
Come on, it's one thing to do it on a training range. It's another thing to do it in a courtroom.
My fucking God, dude.
18-year veteran too, right?
Yeah. It's like, grow the fuck up, man. You're in a courtroom, act like it.
Let me get some anal cream for that asshole.
Oh, man. And people wonder why people don't have respect for the police.
Yeah, like this woman here. Oviedo woman spreads urine all over police cruiser after arrest, police say.
What'd she do? Spread her legs and just spray?
We're about to find out. Oviedo, Florida, a 20-year-old Oviedo woman is accused of spreading her urine around the back seat of a police cruiser after she was arrested on drug possession charges Friday. Oviedo police say they received a call at 1:26 a.m. about a woman driving a red Mazda near Haggerty High School who was intoxicated. Police found McCall Ludick, 20, on the curb near her parked car at the Oviedo Fire Station 48. Police said they found a bottle of vodka in the Mazda's front seat and a jar containing marijuana on the back seat. Ludick was taken...
Crossfading.
Yeah. Ludick was taken into custody for possession of marijuana and possession of alcohol by someone under 21. During the time of her arrest, a Seminole County record show Ludick was on probation for a DUI in March. Winner chicken dinner, according to police. Police said when Ludick was placed into the backseat of the patrol vehicle, she slipped her handcuffs. When police opened the back door, they noticed she had urinated in the back seat and spread her urine all over the rear of my vehicle, according to the arrest report. Police said they had to get her out of the vehicle as they were trying to re-secure Ludic. She tried to pull away and tensed her body. Police placed Ludic against the patrol vehicle in order to reapply her handcuffs, according to the report. Ludic is charged with possession of alcohol under 21, drug possession, resistance without violence, health and safety nuisance for peeing in the backseat of the patrol car. That's just nasty.
It happens more often than you think.
You know, honestly, I wasn't really sure if she was just a naturalist who thought, well, since I paid taxes for this shit, I might as well mark it as my territory. This is my notes.
Yeah, they either piss, shit, or vomit in the cop cars.
Yeah, usually if they're intoxicated or high or whatever, usually one bodily function goes on in there.
I paid taxes and money for this, so this is mine now. Let me piss all over it.
Yeah.
So Mother Nature intended how you mark a territory, you know?
What's Bernie got to say about it?
Oh, that sounds great. Spanish the patriarchy.
Oh, God.
Backseat of a cop car for everyone.
Hey, Joker, what the fuck you doing in prison? It's because I'm black.
Oh, man. I wonder if these patrol cars are outfitted with the ShamWow.
Oh, man. I hope not.
They have that spokesman guy in their trunk with ShamWows. Oh, my gosh.
Wolfen says she tried to assert her dominance in the back seat of the cruiser.
This is my territory.
This is my territory.
You know, I feel bad for the guys that clean those police cruisers, because damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? It's no wonder they shot the bitches first instead. Oh, it costs less money for bullets than it does fucking cleaning that shit.
You know, it's always the guy that it's always the bailiff who fires off her taser in court that gets to clean the back of those cruisers.
So we got any more of those there? 6.
A little zappy makes you happy. Well, here's a towel and clean up the crappy. We have this is I've heard this more than a few times in my neck of the woods. Tangled lines lead to fishing rage, racial slurs at Rodman Reservoir.
Oh gosh, really?
Yeah, Palatka man accused of threatening fellow fishermen with a gun and a car. I'm gonna shoot you, then I'm gonna roll over you.
Wait, what?
Oh my gosh, Palatka, Florida.
Or was it? I'm gonna run you over and then shoot you to put you out your misery.
I don't know. Let's see what the order of operations was here. Palatka, Florida. What started as a dispute between two men over fishing lines this weekend quickly escalated into what might consider fishing rage, according to Putnam County authorities. Witnesses told deputies that Michael Allen Andrews, 48, of Palatka, used racial slurs against another man who was black, calling the man the N-word twice during an argument Saturday. Andrews was charged with 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after investigators said he used a gun and his car to make that other man fear for his life. According to the arrest report, the incident happened late Saturday morning at Rodman Reservoir, where Andrews was fishing. At some point, Andrews' fishing line got tangled with another man's fishing line. The other man told deputies that Andrews got angry and began threatening him by telling him he brings his gun for stupid people like him.
Oh, dear Lord.
According to the second man, Andrews had a gun and a right hip holster. At some point, put his hand on the gun during the exchange of words. The man said he was scared, so he went back to his car where he called 911. He also said that when Andrews realized he was calling the sheriff's office, He packed up his belongings, got in his car, and swerved toward the man like he was going to hit him. According to the report, Andrews drove down the road, stopped the car, got out, and let's see. According to the report, Andrews drove down the road, stopped the car, got out, and pulled a gun out of his trunk. The man told deputies that Andrews pointed the gun right at him. 2 witnesses gave deputies a similar account of what happened, adding that Andrews even went as far as to use racial slurs while threatening the victim. One of the witnesses said Andrews twice referred to the victim as an N-word. Let's see. When Andrews was arrested, deputies confiscated 2 9mm handguns, officials said. The bond for Andrews was set at $10,000. Most of the time when you get your line hooked up with somebody else's, most of the time, shit like this doesn't happen. But you always have the one odd asshole that's just a fucking ticking time bomb.
Agreed.
That's why I avoid going near people while I'm fishing.
Right.
Yeah.
Same here. Of course, I've also found here in Oregon that if I don't carry a backup when I'm out hunting, I get my deer taken.
Yeah, you always, no matter how careful you are, you're eventually going to run into some guy who's perpetually butthurt and takes any slight, no matter how superficial, no matter how minor, as some sort of personal slight, some personal infraction.
Yeah, I bet what was going on in this guy's head was like, oh my god, these blackies keep taking my welfare check. Now they're taking my fish.
He's trying to take my fish.
They're gonna take my fish.
He needs Bernie Sanders to come and give him some of that socialism so he don't have to work no more.
That European style socialism.
Oh boy. Oh, you guys are gonna love this one. Okay. Man says, if I can get through this fucking storm of pop-ups. Man says, everyone does cocaine. Mom is happy pill.
What?
Yeah. Indian River County. A man told deputies his mom is his happy pill, and
Okay.
and said everyone does cocaine. Was arrested and taken to the Indian River County Jail, and affidavit states. Indian River County Sheriff's deputies encountered Matt Borengasser, 26, on March 22nd after reports of a person wearing jeans and no shirt running through traffic at State Road 60 and 43rd Avenue. Yeah. It was apparently the second time in less than an hour that deputies spoke with Borengasser. The first time, Borengasser appeared to be on some sort of narcotic, smelled of booze. Quote, he had been talking to himself and stating everyone does cocaine and tries to avoid the people of Gifford selling crack and cocaine to juveniles, an affidavit states. Investigators reported Borengasser continued to cause a scene in a business parking lot. He said he lived in the area and deputies told him to go home. He started walking away. When investigators were called later to the area of State Road 60 and 43rd Avenue, Borengasser said he was on his way to Walmart because his mom asked him to get groceries. Deputies asked why again he was in traffic, and Borengasser said he was just dancing down the sidewalk. Yeah. They asked if he'd taken any medicine to cause his mental state, and he said, my mom is my happy pill. Okay.
Oh, that's a little something going on in the bedroom, if you know what I mean.
Pastor of the 2100 block of 35th Avenue on Vero Beach was arrested on disorderly intoxication charge. He was on some shit, and just running up and down the highway. Yeah, just dancing, dancing on the sidewalk.
That's a normal Friday night.
In the street.
There's some purple dragons in here. Go.
Hey, at least no alligators were harmed in the telling of this story.
Yeah. Everyone does cocaine.
This time
Cocaine is cool.
listed. This time.
What was that?
This time the alligators aren't molested.
Yeah.
Thankfully. And our final story of the night. If it'll load up. NBC2.com. All of that just for some ads, really. 11 hurt when Florida mall thieves use firecrackers as distraction.
I love that state. I really do.
Fuck off.
Florida is the gift that keeps on giving. Okay. Orlando. Police say 11 people were injured fleeing when jewelry store thieves set off firecrackers in a Florida mall to simulate gunshots. The Orange County Sheriff's Office said deputies arrived quickly at the Florida Mall near Orlando on Sunday evening after gunfire was reported. They quickly determined no shots were fired, but instead firecrackers used as a distraction in a jewelry store theft. 5 of the injured were taken to the hospital. Further details were not immediately available. A similar theft happened on New Year's Eve at the Sawgrass Mall in South Florida. In that case, a thief was trying on an expensive watch when an accomplice outside the store set off firecrackers. When the store clerk ran into a back room, the thieves fled with the watch. Actually, kind of clever. I'll hand it to them. It's actually kind of clever, given how freaking paranoid people are anymore about guns. Thank you, mainstream media.
Except for one thing, Six. Video cameras.
I've
never been inside a jewelry store that doesn't have 5 or 6 cameras.
There you go. So it's the initial plan will work, but the cameras will capture your image and
not necessarily.
Oh,
look at CFX.com.
Okay.
True.
Yeah.
If the cameras are low quality or something like that, they won't be able to catch you.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
If you know how to use the prosthetics you can buy off of CFX, not even just like the masks that cost thousands that look like real faces, but if you buy their prosthetics and you know how to properly apply them, you can change your identity when you go into the bank or jewelry store, wherever you go.
Oh, then we just need the
we're
help
not
of
saying
Poppy's
that
daughter.
we would do such a thing, but
Yeah, never considered it. Never crossed my mind.
yeah.
Believe it or not, just from living here, because of how prevalent Big Brother is, that's one of the things. Like a lot of people, like I've had people, like friends of mine, who like were trying to sneak away from their spouses because like they call me up like Scoob. I woke up, she was trying to shoot me. So yeah, like I've had friends who like because of Big Brother, like and how invasive the laws are here, like to fine people. Yeah, they've actually gone to the lengths of fake noses and mustaches and shit so they wouldn't get caught on camera because they live in Manhattan. So like to sneak out of their apartment so they can't see when they were left. I had one friend who actually did himself up in blackface and went out of the a second entrance on the building just so his wife's, like basically so he couldn't be subpoenaed for abandoning her because he wanted to file for divorce out of state. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
man.
I have friends who are who have looked into this. Yeah, we've looked into this thoroughly. We adopted probably about 6 years ago. We adopted statutes similar to the California divorce statutes. So I think they get something like 40% right off the bat.
Dadgum.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
Boy.
But I think the caveat is if you file in Connecticut, you only have you have to relinquish something like 20%. So a lot of guys, they'll try to get back out here to the island, and they'll try to get to Orient Point, and they'll try to take the ferry up over to Connecticut to Mystic Seaport so they can go file for divorce.
God, that's convoluted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to, if the lawyer catches it within like a certain amount of time, they can file an injunction, and so that they can put it through in New York State. It's just some way the laws work here. So that's part of the thing. People will, like, you'll see. I had one friend, he got caught, and he was dressed like fucking Peter Falk. He was dressed like Columbo. He had on the fucking coat and the hat. He had on the mustache. And the judge is looking at the camera and the picture in the courtroom, and looks at my friend.
Excuse me, just one more question.
Oh man, and I thought getting married as a soldier in Europe was bad. That's just insane, Scoob.
Yeah, well, they've changed the laws so much here. I told you what I'm going through with the courts, with the comp. It's just that they're crazy.
Well, see, in Germany, for me and my wife to get married, we couldn't get married in Germany easily because you have to pay like $5,000 to have your paperwork translated. Then you have to get on the appointment book to be seen by the mayor of the town to do the wedding, and then have the paperwork translated again, which is another $5,000. Or you spend like $1,000 and you go up to Denmark for a weekend.
It sounds pretty gay.
So guess what we did? We spent the $1,000 and went up to Denmark for a weekend.
Oh,
that was probably really cool, though.
Yeah, in February. It was definitely cool. 10 feet of snow on the sides of the road.
Still, land of the Danes. Great place to get hitched.
Gorgeous. I mean, the island of Ramo is gorgeous in February, except there's nobody sunbathing, and it's known for its sunbathing. But you don't want to sunbathe in the middle of February.
No. Because you may have some creepy dude from Florida jerking to you in the parking lot.
Well, it is a nude beach, so.
A lot of herky-jerky spots out there, huh? Oh,
it's horrible that I got this picture in my head. I didn't see what the guy looks like that they arrested, but I got this picture in my head of some kid with a fucking name tag on from wherever he works. Like he's in his work shirt on his way to work.
Go to Boston.
Like he's got on the Boston Market outfit with the paper hat.
Hey, Dave, you having fun?
You had
there?
to mention Boston Market. My neighbor works there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now you know how he's making the gravy.
Oh. Oh, I hope he washes his hands. Oh, goodness.
Oh, man. Well, guys, it's starting to get late, so why don't we go ahead and wrap this up?
Mm-hmm.
All righty.
So, Kaz, you got something you want to shill?
Yeah, sure. I'm Kaz Warfox. You can find me under the same name and picture I use here on my YouTube channel. I do some politics and gaming, provided when I actually fucking make videos. And provided you can handle my yiffing personality, please subscribe. If not for me, dude, in the name of socialism, you're against socialism.
That reminds me of this meme of this guy that's holding this baby bird that has like a little bit of chick fuzz hanging off the back of its head. Looks like a Bernie Sanders haircut.
Oh yeah, I saw that meme. Fucking funny. Why does it look like he wants to raise my taxes to like 95,000%?
Yeah.
All right, Scoob.
I'm Scooby331. You guys can follow me here on YouTube. I'm on Minds.com, Patreon, Gab.ai, PayPal, and I am still on Twitter, for the time being at least, as not Scooby331. I got my suspension lifted today. I capitulated because I just wasn't playing that game anymore.
How many cocks did you have to suck?
I'm not allowed to tweet though or respond to anything for the next 6 days, ironically. So yeah. So I don't expect me to be doing anything on Twitter. As for anything I got coming up, fuck. I just barely got this computer working. So at this point I'm just trying to get my shit together. If I can get a camera, I would like to put up some more content. Otherwise, it's whenever I get the wife's phone away from her. So they come in as they come.
Okay.
We'll have to see about getting you a camera, Scoob. We might have to do a fundraiser or something.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Sign up to this guy's Patreon. Let's get him a GoPro.
Yeah, let's get Scoob a GoPro. So, Tara, you got something you want to show?
I'm Tara Sin. You can find me on YouTube, IMVU, Twitter, and Facebook. I also have an Etsy page, Roxy or Tara and Roxy Craft. I still have some wreaths left, and as soon as Katrina's mom leaves town, I can start working on some purses. And I'm working on a wedding dress right now, so that should tell you how well I sew.
Well,
So
I got
go buy
an
my
idea.
shit.
Tara, I got an idea. Why don't you film what you do? Why don't you film what you do and show us? Because I'm actually interested in watching you make this wedding dress. That's actually
I'll see what I
sounds
can
cool.
do.
Seriously, that's something I'm interested in seeing. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's not exactly like you're building a fucking birdhouse.
Yeah.
Here's where your miter cut.
I don't even like birds unless they're doves.
I don't usually like birds unless they're fried.
You prefer yours fricasseed or fried?
Well, I don't like fried
Oh,
Tweety anyway, so.
Oh, if it's got a wishbone, I'll throw it in a fucking deep fryer. I don't care.
All right.
No, technically humans have a wishbone.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, if they tasted good enough, I'd fucking fry up humans. We got enough of them.
I hear
used to
they
call
taste
them
like
long
pork.
man.
Some good old California bacon.
Oh boy.
Long pork.
Long pork. Awesome.
Yep.
Yep, and if you in the pirate days, if you ate human flesh, that's how you got the name Long in front of it.
Really?
Yep.
Like Long John Silver.
Mm-hmm. Cannibalism.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Personally, I'm all for it. If it were legal, I'd do it.
Yeah, it fucks up your teeth.
You know,
Get off.
actually, there's many states where as long as it's voluntary, you can do it.
Oh, fucking hey. Can we pay for a relocation program?
So these Californians look so willing to be eating each other. We can ship them all to the places where that's fine.
You know, if you want to be technical, they all got that vegan lifestyle. That would make them basically like free range.
Yeah. Free range. Free range certified organic.
There we go.
Jesus fucking Christ.
We're going to hell.
Oh,
In a
yeah.
hand basket, kicking and screaming.
I'm already there.
With a
So that's
side
what
of
I'm talking
biscuits.
about. I'm already
Wolfen goes, the stream just turned
sexual
real
zero
dark.
Dark meat.
All right, Six, what you got for us?
I am the Next 6 Minutes. You can find me on the Next 6 Minutes YouTube channel. You must spell out the word six, because if you don't, then you won't. I also have the Next Live Streams channel, which you will see my Chaos 120 streams broadcasted from. I also do my tea time streams on Sunday, and whenever the hell it is in the middle of the night, I might decide to do an oily midnight stream. It kind of just depends. I don't do it every night. No, it's just kind of one of those random sort of things like, oh, I can't sleep. Let's stream. Okay, so I just released the first 6th Avenue video that I have done in the longest damn time. I've got a few ideas coming up, so I'm going to be making a few of those this month. So look forward to more original content on my primary channel. I have a tea time stream coming up this Sunday. I don't know what the subject is yet. Tomorrow I should be announcing it on Irate Prostate's channel once I make up my mind on that sort of thing. Let's see. I think that's about all I got. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Hashtag free not Scooby 331.
Hashtag poofy spaz.
Hashtag
Poofy
poofy
spaz.
And you all know me. I am the Veteran Mountain Man. I am here on YouTube, BitChute. I'm on Twitter, Gab, Minds. And of course, I was doing the live stream today, so you already know where my channel is. Hopefully you've subscribed. Also, don't forget to join Irate Prostate for his Chaos 120 live stream tomorrow night. And he does his cream stream Fridays, isn't it?
I think it is.
Or is
Yeah,
it
Fridays.
Thursdays? And he does several others, including a Netflix show and Drinks with Friends on Sunday. So check out his content. He's got some great stuff.
Saturday with Sir Adamantine.
Oh, yeah, it's Saturday with Sir Adamantine. And don't forget to check in on my channel for the daily content I post. Well, say goodnight, everyone.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
Shift, motherfuckers.
Good night. Good night, all.
Bye.
Bye.